Professor Rowan at the Pups Academy of Portland. Welcome to another class on how our humans work. Last week, we explored how our humans believed in this thing called God, or a higher power that is like the best-smelling steak giver in the world. Today, we'll be looking into this human book, Phantoms in the Brain, by this human doctor called Ramachandran to explore the question, can changes of the human's limbic system's neural pathways really alter their senses to a direct communication of God? The limbic system takes all the human's external sensory inputs such as sight, touch, sound, and smell. Smells, like delicious dirty laundry that goes all the way through the almond-shaped doggy door that the humans call the amygdala. In order to experience emotions, humans have to express these emotions through the hypothalamus. That's like the pack leader for the nervous system. Dr. Ramachandran explains how most of what we know about the functions in the limbic system is from other humans who experience seizures. You know, that bad-smelling shaky stuff that I'm also training in to sniff out to help my human Katie. When these cluster of neurons misfire in the limbic system, humans experience extreme spectrum symptoms of emotions. On page 266, Ramachandran says that patients say their feelings are on fire, ranging from intense ecstasy to profound despair. Interesting, it is in the limbic system that the humans experience God, or as Ramachandran puts it, a deep, moving spiritual experience, including divine presence and a sense that they are in direct communication of God. For some reason, humans will say things like, suddenly, it all makes sense. Perhaps they now know they have to give us treats and belly rubs. I put an example of my assistant Coco here to help further demonstrate and explain this phenomenon. Effects of the temporal lobe seizures can sometimes alter patients' personality, known as temporal lobe personality in the limbic system. This might permanently alter or enrich patients' inner emotional life towards God through the process known as kindling. It is believed that through kindling, these salient pathways would strengthen sensory brain areas that when humans see other humans in events and hear voices and noises would become more and more closely linked to emotional centers. In other words, every object and event would become imbued with deep significance, which means everything would smell like our favorite human. Can changes in the limbic system's neural pathways really alter these senses to a direct communication of God? Ramachandran found measures of the GSR response for those who experienced kindling when shown a series of random images. There had been no general enhancements of all these connections, but rather there had been a decrease in other important categories, such as sexual words or violent images, a sort of bottom-up response in the limbic system. Going back to our question, can changes in the human limbic system's neural pathways really alter their senses to a direct communication of God? A disorder that parallels not only the symptoms of God-induced experiences, but exhibits the same damage to the temporal lobe in the limbic system is spiritual psychosis, also known as schizophrenia. Research study done by Butler and Weisholtz compared functional and structural neuroimaging studies that indicate that psychosis is associated with dysfunction of frontal and medial temporal limbic brain regions as key nodes in a distributed brain network involved in emotional regulation. Schizophrenia is associated with structural and functional abnormalities in the frontal lobes, particularly the prefrontal cortex. In their study, neuroimaging of frontal limbic dysfunction in schizophrenia and epilepsy-related psychosis towards a convergent neurobiology. Wow, that was a mouthful. They did neuroimaging studies of patients suffering from both chronic and episodic post-clinical psychosis, showing the intriguing finding of increased volume of anterior medial temporal regions, also known as the anterior hippocampus and the amygdala. You know, that doggy door I said earlier, critical for emotional processing. In their model, this model, prefrontal limbic interaction, is based on strong evidence from animal models and is being validated in humans through increased sophisticated functioning images studies demonstrating that frontal regions control and modulate limbic activities that inadequately modulate its association with psychiatric disease. In their human PET scans, you will see areas of decreased blood flow measuring using H2150 PET in unmedicated patients during the experience of auditory and visual hallucinations. This idea fits with the two-hit model of psychosis, which posits that both aberrant limbic activity and impaired frontal control mechanisms are necessary for the development of psychosis. Just like in Ramachandran's study finding a decrease of other innate categories of the 4 Fs, flight, fight, flee, and the other F words humans say is only for big humans in the limbic system. This also supports the idea that the changes to the human's limbic system's neural pathways might really alter their senses to a direct communication with God by dimming their other senses through kindling. Though that's just a possibility. Though I don't understand. Why would you ever want to stop caring for tasty food is beyond me. Oh well, I love my human Katie. Thank you so much for watching this video exploring Phantoms in the Brain, Chapter 9, God in the Limbic System. I will see you in our next Pup Academy class on how our humans work. Make sure to chase some squirrels on your way home today.